Saturday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated weed whacker guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Saturday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on.
Good morning, it's Tuesday, May 5, and this is the Brussels Playbook podcast. The vibe in Brussels today is opaque, with the news that political parties in the European Parliament misspent €1.5 million during the 2024 EU election campaign. Also on the pod, one of the EU's most senior officials, the Secretary-General of the European External Action Service, is on her way out. And a Spanish MEP was outraged when he saw an octopus dish from his region being served incorrectly in the European Parliament canteen. I'm Zoya and with me today is Ian Wishart, our senior EU politics editor. Ian, what's a British dish you'd get into a huff about?
Oh, I don't know a dish, but maybe a cup of tea. When I see how Europeans make a cup of tea, I'm outraged, actually. They don't boil the kettle properly. They put disgusting Belgian UHT milk in it. They leave the tea bag in for more than a couple of minutes. It's utterly disgusting, and I'm horrified.
You're really liberally throwing around the term disgusting again.
Don't trust a non-British person to make a cup of tea.
Well,
I was told I couldn't use the word foreigner, so I'm not.
Ian, that's how you get us cancelled. Ian, the European Parliament's Department of Finance has found some political parties and foundations have misspent €1.5 million during the 2024 EU election campaign. This is a story that our colleague Max Griera has got his hot little hands on. And that money was not meant to be eligible for EU funding because there were breaches of EU rules, and breaches of things like using excessive money or unnecessary costs, violations of public procurement requirements, or using funds to indirectly finance a national political party.
It's not a complete surprise. I'm sure our listeners and readers of Politico will think that there's money being misspent in the European Parliament. We have seen reports about this time and time again. And even now, I think what people are a little bit upset about is nobody's actually saying which parties are responsible for this.
This is this report that Max has his hands on. So it's a leaked report. It's a scoop that he has managed to get. And basically what's happened is that there is a sense that this is happening, but everything's been redacted. We don't know who's been doing it.
Yeah, all we know is the money per party. So I'm looking at a graph here that Max has got, and the EPP supposed to have misspent, what's that, €476,000. The PES and the Socialists are next on €267,000. Obviously, they're the bigger party, so you'd probably expect, if they're all doing the same thing, to have misspent the most. So we don't know exactly how much was misspent, what exactly they did, how egregious this was, whether it was deliberate or not. But all this money, all these parties are having to pay back, and as we said, to a tune in total of €1.5 million.
And this is basically, if they pay it back, then they're not going to get named and shamed, right, Ian? Like, this is kind of an arse-saving exercise from the European Parliament and from the parties involved, because they can take the L, take the loss, as the young kids were saying 2 years ago, because I'm really hip with the lingo, and they can just pay it back. Or if they refuse to do that, then the Parliament is going to name and shame.
Yeah, and one of the things they were doing, according to Max's report, is that they were asking for a reimbursement from EU funds for certain things, but the third party had already covered the costs themselves. So the way Max explained it to us this morning was, imagine you go out on a business dinner with somebody else, the bill comes to €100, you claim €100 from your company in expenses, but the person you're having dinner with still gives their €50 to you. So you're kind of making a €50 profit.
You're giving me ideas.
Don't do that, Zoya.
One of the oldest tricks in the book.
They've mentioned it before, apparently. The Parliament, in Auditor's report last year, said that this trick was being done. The administration told parties to discontinue the practice at that point, but it still seems to have gone on.
Yep. And look, it's a problem because obviously EU taxpayers are paying money. We're expecting people to kind of go without. There's a big cost of living crisis at the moment. So it's probably going to be pretty upsetting for people to hear that 1.5 million was misspent during this election campaign. Before we get to our next story, we've got a bit of an agenda item today, Ian. It's the finance ministers from across the EU who are meeting to discuss how to get help from countries to top up the EU's Ukraine loan.
And of course, this was all unblocked because Viktor Orban lost the election. He'd been blocking it for months, but now they can go and actually think about the finer points.
That's right. And basically, there's now pressure on Norway, Japan, and Canada, which are obviously not EU countries, but are Ukraine backers, to also help out with supporting Ukraine, because currently the EU is shouldering the vast majority of the burden.
That's really fascinating, actually. And also, the UK announced yesterday that it wanted to be part of the scheme. So as soon as this block is gone, it's interesting how they all want to come in.
Yeah, and Volodymyr Zelensky, he's in Armenia at the European Political Community Summit, that Macron baby, and he's asking for more support. He was asking for more support yesterday. So I think this is part of that kind of call to action.
Yeah, and just a reminder for people, this is a 90 billion euro loan that the EU is sending to Ukraine to help with weapons and rebuilding and that kind of thing.
Yep, and Ukraine says, look, 90 billion is just the beginning. And so does the EU, actually. You know, I've been speaking with diplomats over the past few weeks from various countries around the EU who are big Ukraine backers, and they're saying, look, the 90 billion is not a be-all and end-all. If we can get more, Ukraine needs more because it's currently got a bit of an upper hand in the fight. So they want to keep that momentum going.
Okay, now, Zoya, we're going to talk a bit more about EU foreign policy and personnel issues, aren't we?
Oh, I love a personnel issue, Ian.
But this is actually a really senior person.
It is. It's Belén Martínez Carbonell, who is set to leave her post as the Secretary General of the EEAS.
And this is a scoop that Brussels' playbook is breaking this morning.
That's right. And the EEAS, that's the EU's diplomatic arm. It's really important from the perspective of it's the kind of foreign policy arm of the European Union. But the flip side of it is that with Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission president, really active in this sphere, there has been some tension between the Commission and the EAS.
Mm-hmm. Now, we don't know where she's going or exactly why she's decided to step down, but this is the third person who will be in that role since Kaja Kallas became the High Rep. So she lost Stefano Cernino first. He went from the EAS to the Commission, and now she's losing this woman, so she's looking for a third person as Secretary General.
Yeah, and so Belén, she was actually sidelined when there was all of that brouhaha around Martin Selmayr.
Well, I don't think she was sidelined, but there was certainly diplomats and officials in the Commission saying that was the attempt, that people were trying to sideline her.
Exactly, and that she was going to be stripped of her major duties and that Selmayr was going to come in. Now, this is that guy who was kind of known as the monster of the Berlaymont. Yeah. He was Jean-Claude Juncker's right-hand man during the Juncker Commission.
He was basically the most powerful man in the Commission in the Juncker administration. And
also, by the way, one of the most polite men in the Juncker administration. He never has a person responded to a spicy question from a journalist with such grace, let me tell you.
Well, I wonder why that would be. But in the end, he didn't come, did he? He didn't come to the EES job.
He was blocked, and that was like a big power move from the European Commission, from Ursula von der Leyen. They weren't too keen on Selmayr making a return to Brussels. He's safely ensconced in the Vatican, of all places.
So we'll see what happens now. We'll see when they make official the fact that Carbonell is leaving and where she's going to go and what the process will be to replacing her.
Yeah, that's right. And this is actually all part of this broader picture of the fight for influence on that global scale between the Commission and member countries.
I mean, these are really high stakes. You look around the world, you see there's conflict in Iran. Obviously, the Ukraine conflict's been going on for a few years. It's no wonder that the spotlight is on how the EU does foreign policy. And it's never done, let's face it, it's never done foreign policy very well. So now that actually geopolitics is right at the top of the agenda, it's not a surprise that we're talking about it.
Yeah, so this is a big, big power personnel move, and it'll be one we're following closely. And folks, if you've got other tip-offs for us...
Oh, we'd like to know, wouldn't we?
We would so like to know. You know, our WhatsApp number is in the show notes. Please send us any tips about people
Don't even need to know the number now, Zoya. Just click on the link.
Absolutely right. I've heard you've sent us a note too, Ian.
I haven't done that. No, I don't know why you're making that up.
Well, folks, you can let us know if you have heard of a big personnel move or even a medium personnel move. We'd like to know about those. Brussels Playbook cares.
I hesitate to say it, but shall we talk about food, Zoya?
I love to talk about food, as everyone knows. I'm not going to ask you what your favorite octopus dish is.
I've never eaten octopus and I'm not going to pass judgment on it.
Well, the third story is about a Spanish...
I imagine they're a bit tough, are they?
It depends on how you cook it and if you massage it. Yeah.
All 8 of them.
Literally all 8 of them. So the secret to good octopus and good squid is you soak it and you massage it and make it soft and juicy. But I don't eat it anymore because I hear that octopuses have feelings.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Tell us the story. Tell us what this is about.
Well, a Spanish MEP was outraged when he saw the Galician dish of boiled octopus being served in the Parliament canteen, and it was done incorrectly.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it wasn't in a copper pot, Ian.
Was it not?
It wasn't.
Dreadful.
I wonder what it was in. Anyway,
Maybe it's like something polystyrene or something.
Yeah, so the MEP, Adrian Vasquez Lazara, he is hosting a dinner for his colleagues to show them what the real thing's meant to taste like.
I've got a quote from him here, actually. Following the notorious fake, how do you pronounce this, polvo?
Affaira?
That we discovered in the canteen, the time has come to put this sector back in the spotlight. In the spirit of the sacred mission, I am delighted to invite you to a real Galician fiera.
Fairer.
Fairer.
Where's my invite, Ian?
I think you've made your stance on octopus is quite clear, so
point.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Well, it's not the first food-related outrage in an EU institution.
Not the first food-related outrage on this podcast, is it?
Too soon. Well, the European Parliament canteen has also served veggie burgers the day after the veggie burger ban was announced. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one you've got on your list?
Well, I've got a fair...
Not saying you're reading this or anything.
I remember this like it was yesterday. Italy's agriculture minister complained that there was a jar of carbonara sauce in the Deleuze inside the parliament, which contained, get this, pancetta instead of guanciale.
Is it not supposed to contain pancetta then? I always thought it did.
No, it's guanciale.
I mean, the most interesting thing there's a Deleuze inside the parliament.
There's a Deleuze, there's a hairdresser. You can do almost anything in there except work. Sorry, MEPs. That's just a little gentle ribbing of our favourite.
We don't really mean
audience.
it. Yeah.
No. Folks, that's it from us today. Don't forget to send us your job moves. You know the drill by this stage. And please leave us some more ratings. You know, I was so happy, Ian. I asked for people to rate us some more so that we'd get off our slump on Spotify.
Were we on a slump?
We were on a slump.
You told me.
Yeah, we were stuck on 676 ratings.
Mm-hmm.
We've got all the way up to 740.
Very good.
And I was so happy, but then I saw that the Berlin Playbook podcast has 3,000.
Well, we need to vanquish them.
We do.
Don't listen to the Berlin Playbook podcast.
No, listeners, you can love two things
It's in
at
German
once.
anyway, isn't it?
It is,
So.
yes. But people can love two things at once. Leave us 5 stars. We would love that. And we'll be back with you tomorrow.
Bye.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.